At first, you cared. You texted first. You checked in. You showed up. You were consistent. And she noticed. But she didn't value it. Because when a man gives without hesitation, most women assume he'll never stop. They confuse your effort for weakness, your patience for predictability, your affection for obsession. And that's the first mistake. In the beginning, she liked the attention. It made her feel wanted, desired, in control. But over time, something shifts. The more she's reassured, the less she respects it. The more available you are, the less mysterious you become. And when the mystery dies, so does the excitement. She doesn't know it yet, but she's addicted to imbalance, to the emotional highs and lows that keep her guessing. You, on the other hand, gave her certainty, and certainty isn't addictive. So she pulls away. Her messages get shorter, her tone changes. The conversations that once lasted hours turn into one-word replies. And you feel it. That slow, invisible drift. She's not gone yet, but she's leaving emotionally. You start asking yourself what went wrong. You try harder, thinking that consistency will win her back. But it doesn't. It just proves her assumption, that your attention is guaranteed. And that's when you finally get tired. Not angry, not bitter, just done. You stop reaching out first. You stop explaining yourself. You stop waiting for her energy to match yours. You go quiet. And suddenly, everything changes. Because silence is louder than words. The same woman who once seemed indifferent now starts to notice your absence. She checks your page, watches your stories, asks mutual friends how you've been. She doesn't miss you yet. She misses the control, the attention, the validation that proved she still mattered. You removed her power source, and she feels it immediately. See, women don't fall for effort. They fall for presence. But the moment your presence becomes routine, it loses value. When you stop caring, you reintroduce scarcity. And scarcity creates desire. Now, she's wondering what happened. Why you sound calmer, why you're not reacting, why your attention, the one thing she took for granted, is no longer hers. That's when the obsession begins, not because she suddenly loves you, but because she can't stand the idea that you've stopped loving her. You didn't change to win her back. You changed because you were done playing a game that never had rules. And now, for the first time, she's the one chasing peace. In the silence she once ignored. Because when a man truly stops caring, it's not revenge, it's evolution. There's a point in every connection where energy shifts. You don't announce it, you don't plan it. It just happens. The part of you that used to reach out, to check in, to overthink every silence goes quiet. And that quiet changes everything. At first she doesn't notice. She thinks you're just busy, distracted, maybe playing the same games she played. But days go by, and your tone doesn't return. The warmth is gone. The attention she once took for granted isn't there anymore. And suddenly, she feels it. That tension in her chest, that uneasiness in her stomach, that confusion that whispers, "Wait, did I lose him?" See, a man's indifference is more powerful than his anger. Anger still means you care. Indifference means you've outgrown it. And when you stop caring, you remove her power. Her validation used to come from your reaction. Her control came from your effort. Her comfort came from knowing you'd always stay. Now all of that is gone. So, is the illusion that she was in control. That's when the panic starts. She'll start testing your silence, subtle things at first, a random text, a story reaction, a post designed to get your attention. She's not reaching out because she misses you. She's reaching out to see if she still can. Because indifference to her feels like rejection. And rejection, to her, feels like danger. She built her worth on how others respond. So, when you stop responding, her ego starts collapsing. You see, caring too much feeds her comfort, but your calm, your distance, forces her to feel discomfort, and discomfort is how desire begins. Because in silence, the imagination takes over. Now, she's thinking about you more than ever. Not because you changed, but because you stopped explaining. You stopped performing. You stopped being predictable. And that unpredictability is magnetic. Most men think indifference is cruelty. It's not. It's clarity. You're not punishing her. You're just done negotiating your peace. And that kind of calm is something most people can't handle, because it exposes them. It shows them how much their power depended on your attention. When you stop caring, you don't lose her. You lose the illusion that you ever had to try so hard to keep her. And once you understand that, you stop chasing people and start attracting everything meant for your peace. Because the power of indifference isn't about not feeling. It's about finally learning what's worth feeling for. It doesn't happen all at once. It starts quietly. The man she used to control just stops reacting. He's calm now, unbothered, unreachable, and she can feel it. That shift in energy. It's not anger, it's absence. And absence is something she doesn't know how to handle. See, most women don't crave love. They crave relevance. They don't always want you. They just want to know they could have you. Your attention was her reflection. Your effort was her mirror. And when you stop caring, you shatter that mirror. Now she can't see herself in your eyes anymore. And that's when the panic begins. She'll scroll through your profile like she's searching for something she lost. She'll replay old memories, read old messages, try to find the exact moment she lost her grip on your emotions. It's not love, it's confusion. Because the man who used to orbit around her suddenly moved out of her gravity, and when a man detaches, he becomes unpredictable, uncontrollable, untouchable. That's when obsession begins to bloom. Women don't fall for indifference, they fall for stability. But stability, after chaos, feels like mystery. And mystery is power. Because now she's wondering why you don't care, why you don't text, why your tone feels colder, your presence quieter. She used to be your priority. Now she's your afterthought. And for the first time, she feels the thing she made you feel. Irrelevance. When a man stops chasing, a woman's ego takes the hit first. Not her heart, her ego. She starts to question herself. Was I not enough? Is he seeing someone else? Did he really move on that easily? It's not the loss of love that hurts her. It's the loss of control. Because control is how she defined her value. Without your reactions, she's left with silence. And silence is brutal for someone who once lived off your attention. She'll test your calm, try to spark emotion, post the photos, start the games, anything to pull you back into the orbit. But the man who's truly detached doesn't respond, because he finally realized that chasing her attention was the very thing that made her lose respect for him. Now he's quiet, peaceful, centered, and that's what haunts her most. The realization that you didn't need her to heal, you just needed to stop caring. That's the ego collapse. Not when she loses you, but when she realizes you already stopped looking for her. Because in the end, nothing drives a woman crazier than a man who used to care deeply, and now feels nothing at all. When you finally stop caring, something strange happens. The world doesn't fall apart. She doesn't disappear. You don't lose anything worth keeping. Everything just goes quiet. And in that quiet, you find power. Not loud, aggressive power. Not revenge. Not ego. But stillness. Stillness is misunderstood. People think it's weakness, a lack of emotion, a sign you've stopped feeling. But stillness isn't numbness. It's control. It's the ability to feel everything and still choose peace. You're not ignoring her out of hate. You're not detaching to prove a point. You're just done fighting battles that only existed to feed her ego. That calmness, that magnetic calm, it unsettles her. Because now she can't read you. She can't manipulate silence. She can't predict your next move. She used to control your emotions. Now she's trapped inside hers. And nothing drives a person crazier than realizing their chaos can no longer move you. She starts to notice everything. Your tone, your posture, your pace, the way you walk slower, talk less, smile differently. You've changed, but not in the way she hoped. You didn't become colder, you became calmer. You didn't become distant, you became disciplined. And that's what pulls her back. Because women aren't truly drawn to chaos. They're drawn to stability, to certainty, to the man who remains grounded no matter how loud the storm gets. You used to chase her attention. Now, she's chasing your energy. Because peace is rare. And once you have it, people can feel it before you say a word. Your silence carries weight. Your presence feels different. And every time she sees you, she's reminded of how light you became when you finally let her go. The magnetic calm isn't about indifference. It's about alignment. You're not rejecting her. You're choosing yourself. You're not punishing her. You're protecting your peace. And that kind of stillness is more attractive than any display of emotion could ever be. Because in a world full of noise, a man who doesn't react stands out more than anyone who shouts. And that's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing, she starts searching. The moment you stop proving, she starts doubting. The moment you stop needing her, she starts craving you. Not because she suddenly loves you, but because your peace exposes her chaos. And deep down, she wants what you have. That's the magnetic calm. The quiet strength of a man who stopped fighting for attention and started living for peace. When you stop caring, she starts thinking. Not about love, not about what you had, but about what she lost. Control. Because for her, it was never just about affection. It was about influence. About how much she could move you. How much power she had over your emotions. That power was the relationship. Even if she didn't know it. Every reaction you gave her, every argument, every over-explained text, every attempt to prove your worth fed her sense of control. Your attention was her confirmation. It told her, I still matter. It reminded her she still had influence. That's why she never feared losing you. She feared losing that effect she had on you. Because when a man stops reacting, he stops participating in her emotional ecosystem. And when that happens, her identity starts to shake. You see, modern relationships aren't built on love anymore. They're built on leverage. It's not about connection. It's about control. Who can care less? Who can hold out longer? Who can act like they don't feel anything first? And you broke the cycle. You didn't fight. You didn't beg. You just went still. And that stillness stripped her of everything she used to manipulate. Now, she's stuck in the silence she created. And silence is terrifying to someone who only feels alive when there's noise. Because noise, even in the form of arguments, jealousy, or tension, means she still matters. But when you go quiet, the world stops revolving around her. And suddenly, she's alone with the one person she never wanted to face, herself. That's the true psychology of control. It's not about love. It's about distraction. You were her mirror. A reflection she could control, polish, and adjust to make herself feel valuable. When you stopped responding, you broke the mirror. Now, she can't see her worth through your eyes anymore. And she has to find it in herself. Something she was never taught to do. That's why she reaches out. Why she tests you. Why she tries to restart the chaos. Not because she wants you back, but because she wants to feel powerful again. You're different now. You've learned what peace costs, and you're not giving it away again. Because the man who's mastered his emotions can't be controlled. He doesn't chase. He doesn't react. He doesn't explain. He just watches, learns, and walks away without making a sound. That's when she realizes the thing she was trying to control was never you. It was the emptiness inside her that only your attention could fill. And when you stopped giving it, she had to face what she'd been running from all along, her own lack of peace.